We are really blessed to have had Heather Scribner here to work with you for 13 years. And a few people, Fred Daniels and then Kathy Lewis and then Daniel Carlson, are going to say something about what that was like for them in brief form. So Fred's going to be first.
Brief. I'm good with that. Good morning, everybody. So Heather, we are going to miss you. So Heather and I were there from the beginning, and of course during the time that I've worked with Heather, I was chair of the finance committee and then the treasurer, and then also headed up the building campaign. And of course you can imagine that Heather was in the middle of all kinds of things going on all the time. And the one observation I just want to make about you, Heather, is that you have worked so hard on behalf of this church and the people in the church to find yes. That's really has been what stood out for me. Every time there was a challenge or a question or a need or something that had to be done, you worked so hard, at least in my experience, to find yes, where it could happen and go forward. In fact, I spent a little time the other day trying to think if I could remember any circumstances where you said no. I came up dry, totally dry, over 13 years and probably thousands of interactions. So I just want to thank you for all of the yeses that you've provided me and everybody in this congregation for these 13 years. You are going to have a tremendous new chapter in your life and career. We'll miss you a lot and hope you come back to visit with us soon. So stay with it. It's all good. You're going to be good. Thank you so much for everything you've done.
I'm not sure when Fred was doing that finance chair and treasurer because I was doing it. So for the last 8.5 years, I've had the privilege of working with Heather, and I've known her for the entire time that she's been here for the 13 years. But we've really gotten to know each other a lot better in recent year and a half. And I have to add to what Fred said. I've never seen Heather not be a people person. She's a people person, and a testimony to the number of you who are here, those who may be watching on the screen. And so that's part of what I wanted to say. Her next destination is Fulton County's gain and our loss, and I'll be missing seeing Heather in the office. I don't know what it says when you go into politics from a church. You have to think about that for a while. I know she did. So I'm not sure whether this is a step back, a step forward, whatever. But I'll let that turn up for her. And I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Dave yet, but I have a feeling that he was part and parcel of talking her into this. She's given us more than competent financial work. She could probably write a book about the number of revisions and what it's like to deal with Fred and myself and all of the other people who come into the church. She's been a friend to all. She really is a person, people person, I should say. I've heard tales of her 3 sons, their trials, tribulations, and the joys. And I always wonder, how many broken wrists or leg or ankle or they seem, look at them. They're both shaking their heads on how many in the family there have been, including Heather herself had that happen. So once again, I think that it's Fulton County's gain and our loss, and I want to thank her profusely for all of her competence and friendship, and good luck and best of luck to you, Heather. Thank you.
Heather. Oh. So Heather began shortly after I arrived, a few years after I arrived here. And so I've been able to work with Heather now for her entire tenure here. And I thought Kathy's comment that Heather is a people person really doesn't go quite far enough. And so as the minister whose primary responsibility is pastoral care and education and nurture and creation care, Heather figures most strongly in my work and has been most influential from my perspective as somebody who is on the front lines of pastoral care. Now, Heather did not sign up to do pastoral care when she began being a church administrator, but in fact, that's what she has done. She is the person that most people, when they call the church, end up talking to in one time or another. And sometimes they call up perhaps intending to talk to a minister, but they talk to Heather and they're like, okay, that's fine, thanks. I don't need to talk to Daniel anymore. And that's because the Spirit has given Heather a large heart. And she has the ministry of compassion. And she has exercised that ministry here that has been a blessing to so many people, many of whom I don't know. Occasionally, Heather will tell me, oh, you might want to follow up with so-and-so. Or I'm aware, I haven't talked to them directly, but this person, I think they're feeling kind of lonely. So that intuitive sense and that large-heartedness, and then connecting others within the church to the ministries that they need, has been such a blessing to our congregation as a whole, and to me as in part of my vocation. And so I am going to sorely miss Heather, but I am so grateful for her presence here, for her self-giving here, for her compassion, and for her readiness to serve in whatever capacity she was needed. So, Heather, God bless you. I don't know how you're going to do that in politics, but I know you have done it among the people of God. Thank you so much.
So when I interviewed for this job, one of the things that Del Pierce said to me was, we have this great staff, we think we finally got it all together and we're all set. And then in January, Heather came to me and she said, well, I have this opportunity and it is too good to pass up. And it is too good to pass up. But it has set the ball in motion for a bunch of other changes that I think none of us expected. Heather has obviously been somebody I have relied on very heavily in the short time that I've been here. It's good to have somebody who's been here a long time and knows all the things, which she does. And I think of Heather as a wild juggler. She handles so many things in one day that you just don't even know how much she has done. And so I want you to pray for the person who is coming in to the office, who's starting tomorrow, so that her name is Oksana Podoba, and she is going to have only 2.5 weeks to get it all, to get all of Heather. Imagine that, and imagine how that probably can't happen. Thank you for being there. What I want to say is you've been a wonderful teacher. I have never heard you be annoyed when someone needed help for the 50 millionth time with something. You just are really good at walking people through the things we need for them to get through. So thank you so much, and I wish you well, and I hope the new job is what you hope it will be. I will say now, and then I'm going to offer you if you want to say something. These are for you. Cards keep coming in, and we had to do it secret, like to my house, because everybody that was leaving was in the office, and we wanted it to be a surprise, so that couldn't go that way. And there are little boxes that Membership and Fellowship has offered of little goodies for everybody to take home if you would like. I want to give you more time to visit before some people scoot off to the forum. But did you want to say anything? Yeah.
Wow, I'm not used to being up here. I said, when I started at FRC, I said, the one thing I'm not going to do is preach or talk. And then next thing you know, I'm running for office and doing different things. It's very hard for me. It's hard not to get choked up because this has been a home for me, not just a job. I met so many great people, and I thank you all for all that you've given me. You've taught me a lot. I've had the privilege of meeting so many different members with qualities, and I'm hoping to take those on to my new job. So I never thought I would get back into politics and coming from a church, because I came to the church to get out of the politics to a much calmer life. But I think I've learned so much that I can bring that into that field. It's such a blessing to have worked here. Everybody's been through my children, my life, 13 years, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to work, and I want to thank you all, and I'll miss you.
So take your time and visit with Heather and enjoy the rest of your day.